In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt podcast,
we're heading to the Newbury show to talk to the visitors.
In the news, the AA urges summer drivers to avoid a tyre tragedy.
And we answer your questions on Critair stickers, refillable bottles and using a hitch lock whilst travelling.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Industry insights, expert advice for the world of motorhomes, caravans and campervans, all brought to you by thatleisureshop.com.
Now please do remember to follow on your favourite podcast app and click subscribe and the little bell on YouTube, brought to you by arabasecreative.co.uk.
Straight into the news then, Matt. AA analysis reveals that tyre-related incidents could kill or badly injure around 180 people this year. Now, this is something you should be doing. Checking, isn't that right? Cracked and decayed tyre rubber, perished valve rubbers are often a factor in incidents, say the AA, particularly with vehicles that get used in the summer only and stand idle over the winter. Your expert advice has been sought.
Yeah, absolutely. I was asked to contribute to this piece, and this really does apply to motorhomes, campervans, caravans, camping trailers as well, where they sit around all year. And of course, being stored for months, they're stood still. That can cause the tyre to have a wear point, which can make it crack. It can cause a bulge in the side wall. It can whiten the side wall, which potentially means it's being weakened. Also, your wheel nuts. Your wheel nuts can come loose. Someone may have interfered with it. True story, I know somebody driving out of a storage site for their motorhome, and they were driving out of the exit, and there was this awful knocking, and the wheel nuts on their front wheels had been loosened. Who knows why? Something malicious had tried to take place, and they had to do them all up. So just check them. It takes seconds. Pressure as well. That's a big one. In fact, I gave the AA my little tip where I said, I suggest you make a pact with your tyres, a PACT, and they used it. And PACT stands for pressure, age, condition and torque. So check your pressure, check the age of your tyre. Remember, we've talked before about the little pill. It's an oblong shaped pill which has 4 numbers in it, and typically it's 0422 would be week of manufacture, was week 4 in 2022, and the accepted practice is 7 years old the tyre should be replaced. In fact, 7 years old and 5 years of use. So when you're buying new tyres, check how old they are. They might have been sat on the shelf for a year, so always check the age, look for that little pill. Condition, looking at tyre tread and so on, and as I say, bulges, condition of the sidewall, and check your wheel nuts.
So is Matt Sims PACT? What did it stand for again?
Pressure, age, condition, torque.
Fantastic.
Have you got news for me, Keith?
I have, yes. Paul Merton and Suki Webster, they are a couple, have been on Motorhoming with Merton and Webster on Channel 5. The first series, I think, was about a year, 18 months ago. It's been repeated on daytime since then. And I managed to meet up with them. And they've told me that there's a new series on the way. Paul Merton, thanks for letting me bother you for the Motorhome Matt podcast. Seen you on Channel 5.
Yes, with Suki Webster.
Hello, how are you?
Still got the motorhome?
Well, we don't own one, but we have enjoyed the motorhome, and we have talked about perhaps renting one day, because it is, the joys of the motorhome, and as your listeners will know, is that you can just get into it and your holiday starts there. You don't have to change the currency, you don't have to worry about your passport, you don't have to worry about a foreign language that you can't speak.
I do have a put him through security.
I have to go
regardless.
through security. I do have to go through security.
Does his fingerprint match every time?
No,
it
funnily
doesn't.
enough, it doesn't.
No, and that's just if I have to get out of the house, the security. So we did enjoy the motorhome, and we might be doing another series with Channel 5, but it hasn't been totally confirmed yet, but they're nearly there with it, so that should be something that we'll be doing later on this year.
So you're not dyed-in-the-wool motorhomer by all accounts then?
No, but I mean, we really enjoyed it. I mean, I think it's just the sort of case of, they are expensive, of course.
We're enthusiastic beginners, I would say.
Yes.
And we did a motorhome exhibition, and we said to them, no, don't call us experts, because we're really not. You know, we've done 2 series, so we know something, but you're out filming, so we haven't done everything. We have changed a gas canister once,
yes,
but with a bit of help.
We do get a lot of help.
Yeah. So, we're enthusiastic converts, but we don't own one yet, and we haven't done it on our own yet.
Well, I was at the Newbury show just this last weekend, and you're right, the prices, and they've gone up.
Yes, it is very expensive, and I suppose you have to look upon it as a long-term investment. But that's why I think people who do buy the motorhomes, who love the motorhomes, do go out of them as many weeks of the year as they can. So, get to get the value out of it, because you do, of course, save money on hotels and air flights and all that sort of stuff, but you do need to use it a lot, which I suppose is what people do.
And the great thing as well about the TV is, Suki, you were doing the driving as well, and in so many motorhomers, the wife doesn't want to go behind the wheel, and that was just great to see.
Do you know what was great was a couple of women contacted me on Instagram and said, I hadn't driven until I watched you do it, and then I thought, well, if she's doing it, I'll have a go. And they said it's transformed their holidays.
And it's not, yeah, exactly. So I didn't mean to interrupt. I mean, it looks more daunting than it actually is, because once you get used to the size of the thing, which doesn't take long. I mean, essentially, if you're going down a country lane and a vehicle's coming towards you that's not a motorhome, they will back up because they can see the size of you. So, it's people should feel encouraged to do it.
Thanks very much for speaking to me today, and good luck with your motorhoming in the future.
Great.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So there you go, Matt. Paul Merton and Suki Webster, they do admit that they're not dyed-in-the-wool motorhomers thinking of buying one, but they do have a crew to change all the bottles for them.
They cheat, don't they?
It's television. Everybody cheats.
They probably don't do anything on the motorhome other than drive it.
Yeah. But I tell you what, and I did mention it in the interview, it's great to see that Suki drives the motorhome, because we've talked to so many people where women say to us at shows on the Q&A that they don't like to drive. So women, driving motorhomes, it's a thing for some reason, isn't it?
I don't know why. There's absolutely no reason at all. I'd say to people, if you can drive a car, you can drive a motorhome. It's actually easier in many ways because you're up higher, you've got a fantastic view, you're not in a rush, you're on holiday, and I suppose the size scares people, but it really is not a factor. You can get used to driving one. They are easy to drive really quickly. So, yeah, go for it. Don't be put off.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
And it's brought to you with thatleisureshop.com.
We're here live this weekend at the Southern Motorhome and Campervan show in Newbury. It's a bit of a different feel to this episode.
A fantastic feel to the episode. We're here on the Saturday. Business has been going for about an hour since the gates opened. Crowds are beginning to build up. And what a great feeling, what a great atmosphere, Matt.
And the best bit is the sun's out. This doesn't always happen, believe me. Yesterday was so hot, and today the weather forecast looks good. Slight bit of cloud today, which is going to keep us cooler, hopefully. And a breeze, which is great if you're selling flags.
Fantastic. So what are we looking at today at the show? What are we looking for, and what are the trends then, Matt?
Well, great question. So I think shows this year are going to be different. The high streets have changed. We're seeing a change in the profile of exhibitors selling accessories, and also the vans and motorhomes that dealers are bringing to the shows. And I'm just interested to see what the consumers think. Are people here for the first time? Are people here that have been coming to the shows for years and years? What is actually happening under the skin, under the hood, as it were, of the shows themselves?
Yeah, I've spoken to a couple of people already who said they're looking for bits and pieces, but open to buying maybe something a little bit more expensive, such as chairs, for instance, but not stretching as far as a new van.
Well, sales yesterday were really good. Many of the dealers were making sales. Somerset Motorhome Centre had 8 sold at the back of their stand last night, and P&P on the entrance apparently did 6 yesterday. I mean, these are big numbers. When you think they're bringing 20 motorhomes to the stand, they're selling nearly half their stock. So it's encouraging, and but we want to actually ask you, what do you think of the shows, and what have you come here to buy? What have you left with, maybe owning that you didn't have this morning? And so we're going to get some voices on the podcast and see what people actually think.
Let's find out then, shall we?
Let's do it.
So I phoned you the other day.
We've been walking around the show. We've bumped into Moira from Somerset. Now, Moira, your story is quite an interesting one, because you very sadly have lost your husband, and you've got a motorhome and you want to sell it.
That's right, because it's a couple's motorhome, really. Perfect for couples, and maybe with one small child. But for me, I want to go off with my friends or my sister, and it's a bit too big, and the layout for the bed isn't quite right for me now. So I want to buy another smaller motorhome, perhaps next year.
That was my next question. Are you
Yeah.
getting out of the pastime, or are you just looking to change?
No, I love motorhoming, and I've always loved it, and it's always been my ambition to have my own motorhome. So I'm still looking for one. So we could maybe come back to you one day, or maybe hire one from you. But I've heard from my sister and other people that your reputation is very good, and you've got great customer service. So we're hoping that you're going to treat us nicely.
There you go, Matt.
We'll certainly try. You did hire from us before, didn't you?
My sister did, and she was very pleased with how it went.
Well, the team will always do our best to look after you, certainly. And of course, we can help you sell it as well, which we've been talking about. One of the great things about coming to a show is you can see other motorhomes and get an idea of their value.
Yeah.
And of course, start to plan your next motorhome. Is that what's brought you to the show this weekend?
We want to have a look round, yes, to see what's on offer and see what layout I want, really. And that's another thing that I could do with you, is take out a motorhome on hire that's a bit smaller with the nearly perfect layout, see how I get on with it. So that's another thing to consider as well. And you were also talking about the owners club, where you can own the motorhome but hire it out still. But I think I do need to go down the route of selling it at the moment. Looking at your brochure that we picked up in your shop, it's so inspiring. Your pride in your business and your customer service and everything, and the way you give advice to families in particular, so good. And you don't often come across the honesty that you have as well, because you put both sides of the story, what you can do for us and what you can do on your own, and how they compare, which is very interesting.
That's great feedback. Thank you so much. That's lovely. A lot of work's gone into that brochure, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what are you hoping to try and see this afternoon, Moira?
Well, we're looking at smaller VW size camper vans, really, or maybe slightly bigger, but I need to be able to get it in and out of my garden on my own. At the moment I have to have my sister to help me, and that's not always ideal. I want something that I can be independent in, you know, and also maybe I want to get a little dog in the future, so it's something that I can just go off for the weekend and have a nice day at the seaside or wherever I want to go to. So that would be ideal.
Brilliant. Well, you're an inspiration yourself. Have a lovely afternoon, won't you? Enjoy your walk around.
I'm 68 and still wanting to live life and have some adventures, so that's a good thing, isn't it?
I remember years ago I met a lady called Rose, and her husband passed away.
Yeah.
He didn't like motorhoming, so when he passed away, she came in and bought one, tiny one, and a little dog. And at the age of 84, she came into the showroom one day and had been travelling for 3 years, never been home.
Wow.
And she said, I rang my insurance company and said, would you insure me if I go to Afghanistan? And they said no. So she went anyway.
Oh, wow.
And she said what a beautiful place it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's still motorhoming now. She's 86 and still going with Ted, the little border terrier.
Lovely.
And, yeah, lots of adventures. So, yeah, go for it.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. Lovely to meet you both.
And you too, Moira.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Brilliant.
We're at the Southern Motorhome and Campervan Show here in Newbury, and I've bumped into a man who I took a photo of at the NEC in Birmingham wearing one of our orange bags ran the wrong way. You're wearing it on your chest. Jeremy, how are you?
Oh, promoting you. What do I think? Fine, thank
It's
you.
a very funny photo.
Yeah.
Very funny photo. Now, since I met you, you're on Ramipril, which is a drug I'm on.
Yeah.
Something wrong with your heart. What happened?
I just had a blackout and headbutted the tarmac off my bike, and they took me in and found out that I had an enlarged heart. So all the tubes, unlike yourself, they were blocked up. Mine were all clear, but obviously I wasn't pumping enough.
So have you got the Ramipril cough?
Not really, no. They said I would have side effects and stuff like that, but
Farting?
Oh yes, very much so.
Hazel's laughing.
More so than ever, I think. Which I don't mind. I don't mind that side effect.
So Hazel, you always knew he had a large heart, is that right?
I did, that's what all his friends say. We always knew he had a big heart.
Well, my mates complained that I made another pothole in the road, so it had to be filled in. So
With your head?
yes,
Unfortunate.
I smashed my helmet completely, so I was glad I was wearing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's brought you to the show this weekend?
We've come up with Hazel's sister because she's looking to get a motorhome because they got a caravan at the moment, and obviously we're looking for bits and bobs and stuff like that. And she's just looked at another motorhome, so.
Uh-oh.
You get tempted when you come to these shows.
So what have you got at the moment?
Bailey.
Okay, and what have you looked at that's taken your eye?
Rymore and another Bailey, the Allure. We got the autograph at the moment, which suits us at the moment. I think, like anything, everything could be done slightly different, but you'll never find the perfect van. So,
Well, I think you can find the perfect van eventually, but when people say, "Oh, this is our forever van," I never believe them. I've heard it so many times. So what's the highlight for you, Hazel, coming to the show?
Oh, I love looking around all the different vans and the stores. I just love it all, really. I just like the vibe of campers all together.
You've clearly got the itch, the mood for change if you're looking at a new van.
yeah, well, I suppose I'm happy with what we got, but you won't drive it because it's being a lorry driver is no problem. It's 7.9. The other one was 7.1, which is 80 centimeters difference. But you says it's so much bigger, but it's no problem. So I think something slightly smaller because there's only the two of us. So it's getting what we want inside in a slightly smaller van, but not too small because I'm being a big chap that I need room to move.
Yeah.
There's always a compromise, isn't there? It's like buying a house. There's always a compromise. So it's just working out what is the compromise for you.
Which
So-
compromise are you prepared to make?
That's why I'm having a look.
So what's your compromise then?
Well, at the moment, the smaller vans a lot of them have the wardrobe under the bed, and I've decided I'm too old to get on my hands and knees to see what's in the wardrobe.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
And it's brought to you by thatleisureshop.com, and we are standing by the thatleisureshop.com stand, aren't we, Matt, at a big show. What's the show?
We're in the sun again. We're at the Southern Motorhome and Campervan show here in Newbury, the Warners show, and it is a busy day. It's Saturday and it's getting busier and busier.
We've got a couple of guests with us. You might recognise them from YouTube. The channel is
Bonjour Motorhome.
Bonjour Motorhome. Matt.
Bonjour. Don't do your French accent, Keith.
No, he did it.
Stop it.
Bonjour Motorhome.
You're like a native.
So why is it called Bonjour Motorhome?
Because we love France. We want to ultimately live in France. We love the motorhoming lifestyle there, where you can just drive from air to air. We hope it'll be like that in the UK one day.
One day.
You never know.
One day.
What's on the YouTube channel? Tell us about it.
Well, we've just been blogging our journey, really. We got a motorhome a couple of years ago, an old Auto Trail 2007 Auto Trail tracker, and we've renovated it, we've refurbished it and done lots of things to it, and we just love the van life, don't we? We do it often as we can.
And Zoe, you're part of the team, aren't you? You are disabled, you're blind. Tell us about motorhoming for somebody with a disability such as yours. Is it something you can overcome easily, or are there difficulties that you need to tell us about?
Most places are really good. Most sites are very accessible, and the majority of people just accommodating as well, so it's not really an issue.
So your advice to somebody else who can't see very well would be?
Go for it. Definitely. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just
Yeah,
do it.
life's too short.
What sort of van have you got?
We've got our Auto Trail tracker from 2007. So it was a doer-upper when we got it, but that's part of the attraction, really. We wanted to make it our own. Yeah.
And we do how-to guides.
Yeah, if you look at our channel on YouTube, we give a van tour and all the alterations and renovations we've done. So.
And we were watching your podcast about checking your weight, your gross weight.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and we did one about that as well.
Brilliant.
So it's really good to
And
compare.
what was your gross weight?
We were pushing it, weren't we? We were one of those people who were about to get a fine and not knowing it, so that's why we did a video on that as well, because we had to up plate.
It's surprisingly common that most people are pushing it, or indeed the legal weight is behind them, as in they've gone over it. So what's brought you to the show this weekend? Why are you here?
To meet you.
Oh, bless you. We did it. You can go now.
Actually,
It was. That was one of the
Oh,
reasons.
Zoe, thank you. That's really kind of you. Well, it's lovely
Yeah.
to meet you both.
It's really
yeah,
good.
great
No,
to
go on,
meet
give us
you.
a real
Big
answer, man.
fans. It's true. It's true. We're big fans of your podcast.
Yeah. It's
And
so
we've popped in.
informative.
Oh, thank you.
We'll
really
keep
good.
popping into that leisure shop
Yeah.
to mooch around because
Yeah.
it's near where my parents live. But that's not the
great.
only reason, obviously. It's a
No.
great shop.
We are just strolling, Matt, aren't we? Just have a promenade.
Arm in arm. If only you could see us.
Down one of the walkways, people are enjoying their Cornish pasties, looking at motorhomes, buying their gadgets and bits and pieces. Answer me a few stupid questions, would you, Matt? First of all, do people bring their motorhomes and camp here?
Yeah, they do. At this show, you can camp. That's the case at most of the Warner shows. This one, you camp for the weekend. I think this one was £85, which is not a lot of money for 3 or 4 nights camping. And that gives you access to the show and all the facilities and entertainment in the evening as well, every night. So
What,
it's really...
entertainment in the evening? What, car keys and a fishbowl, that sort of entertainment?
No, that's your special weekend. No, it's live music. So there's a different theme at every camping event. 1960s, rock and roll. It's really, people come dressed in fancy dress, getting their hair done. It's quite a spectacle, the queue for the entertainment in the evening. In fact, some people only come for the entertainment, meet up with friends here, and don't really come into the trade show, whereas others like me for many years only came to the trade shows. I never really discovered the entertainment as a punter, but it's fantastic value for money.
I'm looking now at some of the parked up motorhomes, people who've come in for the whole weekend, and the fashion of the Glastonbury flag is certainly the fashion of the motorhome as well, so you can spot your motorhome when you're coming back to it. I can see one that's just fun on it, a Union Jack with a smiley face, clearly late 80s fans, Acid, as we like to say. There's an English flag, is that over there? Ukrainian flags, I can see.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Is a great new flag I've seen recently. Yeah.
So they're all parked up. Do you get power when you park up?
Electric hookup is available on some of the pitches, yes. When you arrive, the marshalling team will guide you to your pitch. Fliss and Andy and the team do a fantastic job. Many of them volunteering, getting you parked up, reasonably spaced apart as well. People often worry that they're meters apart and not safe. That's not the case at all. If you need electric hookup, it is available for an extra cost. If you've got mobility issues and have special requirements, you need to be on tarmac, that's a possibility too. You just book that when at the time of booking you request it. I saw a great post on Facebook last night talking about the flags. Somebody just bought Motorhome, come to this show for the first time, and they spent an hour last night in the dark trying to find their van.
That's the reason for having the flags.
That's why you have a flagpole, yeah. And of course there are flag sellers at the show, so you can buy yourself a nice tall collapsible flagpole and a flag of your choice.
The great thing is, isn't it, you can come along to the show, stroll around, maybe buy a few bits and pieces, go back to your own motorhome, and then go out for a bit of I think it's a 60s weekend, isn't it?
This weekend is a 60s weekend.
We're not talking about the average age of the punters, by the way.
No.
We're talking about the music.
The music is from the 60s this weekend, yeah. And people have been saying it's fantastic. We'll be going along and having a little jig on the dance floor later, shall we, Keith?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. My joke there about the average age is a bit unfair, actually. Lots of families here, lots of younger people taking a look around, and lots of people looking at motorhomes.
For the first time as well, having spoken to lots of people at the show, I've certainly seen a shift in the demographic toward a younger age group, and the pandemic kind of did this industry a favour, really. Because a motorhome was the only type of holiday we could go on. And so we saw huge booms in sales where motorhomes selling in seconds. It's all changed now, of course, but it has brought a much younger demographic into the market.
But they've gone back, haven't they, after the pandemic, and they might have hired a motorhome or had a holiday in a caravan. They've then used the airline tickets that got cancelled and you got vouchers for. And it now seems 2 or 3 years down the line is that the people who went motorhoming are coming back, looking at motorhoming again and looking at buying because they did enjoy it so much.
Yeah, that's right. And also as people discovering motorhoming for the first time, even today, it's been kind of in the limelight over the last few years more than ever, and it's really exciting to see, as you say, families looking over here. There's a family with young children wandering around. Of course, it's Saturday, so we're going to see more and more families today and tomorrow on Sunday. So yeah, it's exciting to see a fresh kind of audience coming into the market.
So the message is, you're coming to the show, don't just be a day visitor. You can bring the motorhome, you can park up, you can make a weekend of it, and you've got the day visitors as well. And of course, if you're an armchair motorhomer, always been thinking about it, never really taken the plunge, never even hired, good place to get a taster, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. The thing about these outdoor shows is there's a wide choice of motorhomes to look at, but second-hand ones as well. So the indoor shows, so the big show at the NEC is all brand new models for that year, unregistered vehicles. Here, lots of pre-loved, so the choice is vast. And there are motorhomes here for just under £15,000. Yeah, they're 10 years old, but there's something for everyone and for every budget. So a great place to start is one of the outdoor shows, without doubt.
It's the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
And the show we're at is
the Southern Motorhome and Campervan Show here in Newbury.
Fantastic. We've talked to a lot of people. Matt, is fantastic atmosphere. The weensiest bit of rain at about 20 past 11 in the morning, but that's cleared away, and it's a perfect day for it, isn't it? Not too sunny.
No.
Not too cloudy. Just perfect.
It's the weather that can make or break an outdoor show. It's very true. Yesterday, possibly too hot, at risk of complaining after all the rain we've had, but it really was hot yesterday, and of course as a trader it meant that people did go back to their motorhomes and just chill out next to the van for the afternoon with a cold something. But today the weather, I'd say, is perfect show weather. Hazy sunshine, a nice breeze, not too hot. Lots to see and do, and the aisles are very busy.
And what a show, and what people have been at the show. We've just spoken to a few of them, and the stories, the lives they're leading, and at the centre of it, the motorhome.
Absolutely, it's all about people's stories, we've all got them, and I love them. And the thing about these shows, it's a real sense of community. It's a coming together of a bunch of people with a shared passion, the motorhome, the campervan, who from all different types of walk of life, and that's been evident today. And we just come together on a level playing field, and it's such a safe, friendly environment, and that's been certainly the feedback we've had, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. You can hear that rattling going past. But that's somebody who's obviously got a long shopping list. They've got a trolley to bring their stuff home in.
They've bought themselves a wagon. See lots of those for sale here. Very useful accessory at any show, yeah.
One thing I've noticed, lots of dogs.
Loads of dogs, yeah. This is a dog-friendly show. Dogs have become a very popular pet. Is that fair to say? The pandemic saw a huge boom, didn't it, of people having dogs as a pet at home. And it's a motorhome is a great way of going on holiday with your dog. You just, we take Reg everywhere with us. In fact, he sees the van on the drive and can't get out the front door quick enough. He wants to get straight in it because he knows he's off on an adventure somewhere.
Well, you don't have to book the doggy into daycare or even longer care, do
no.
you? And nobody's moaning at hotels and resorts when you're turning up with your dog because you got your motorhome. You please yourself, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Reg absolutely loves it, and he's a brilliant show dog. He's on our stand, that leisure shop, at every show. He's a little border terrier, and he's an idiot, but we love him.
Are you driving a converted camper van? Ripe has tailored insurance just for you. When Motorhome Matt checked their service, we found that they offer comprehensive cover for camper van conversions, whether the work is done by a professional or a DIY project. Plus, their policies are customisable, so you only pay for what you need.
With excellent ratings on Trustpilot, Ripe is dedicated to providing a specialist cover for all motorhome and campervan enthusiasts.
Meet Ripe's team in person at this year's Camper Jam from the 4th to the 6th of July. They're also running a summer competition to win over £2,500 worth of prizes, including a year's worth of insurance up to £1,000, a £500 Quirky Campers voucher, a £750 Glawning voucher, and a Solo Stove bundle worth £329. And more. Head to their website for details or follow them on Instagram at Ripe Insurance.
Click the link in the episode description to start your quote with Ripe and enjoy an automatic 25% discount off your premium. Or give them a call and say Motorhome Matt to get your 25% discount over the phone.
Remember, just say Motorhome Matt to get your 25% discount over the phone. It's the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Brought to you by thatleisureshop.com. It's time for our question and answers section in this week's podcast. Gary Catlin's in Lowestoft. He says, just watched your video, top 3 tips for motorhome travel in France. Very good, by the way, but I have a couple of questions. I have my Critère sticker for France, yellow 2. Where do I stick it on my self-build camper van? When approaching different towns in France, how do I know if they accept Critère 2? Are there signs to say what Critère the town or city is? And lastly, I have a refillable LPG gas bottle in a locking metal locker with dropout vents and a French connector. Ah, the French connection.
Oh, yeah.
Will I be able to fill the bottle away from the van? And will I be able to tell if the garage will or won't allow this? Many thanks, mate, Gary and Val. So first of all, his Critère sticker for France, yellow 2. Where did he stick it?
Bottom right corner of your windscreen.
That
Easy
was
as
easy.
that.
Yeah, it was easy, wasn't it?
Next.
Yeah. When approaching...
I think I made a mistake in this. And there's a video where I say stick it on your rear bumper. So many people have corrected me, and I was thinking about the UK sticker when I said it. I was wrong. It goes in the bottom right corner of your windscreen.
When approaching different towns in France, how do I know if they accept Critère 2? Are there signs to say which Critère the town or city is?
Well, it's about your vehicle, actually, Gary. It's about the fact that you need a Critère sticker to go in there. So the Critère 2 is unique to your vehicle. That's telling the authorities that you are a Critère 2. So my suggestion would be checking the website for the Critère conditions to go in or out of any city and whether a Critère 2 is permissible in that city.
When I was in France not so long ago, I was looking out for Critère signs and I didn't see any at all, but I did refer to the website before I travelled because there are differences between, say, Rouen or Paris or wherever, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the third and last question that Gary is asking, he's got a refillable LPG gas bottle in a locking metal container with his dropout vents and a French connection. Will I be able to fill the bottle away from the van, and will I be able to tell if the garage will or won't allow this?
That's a great question, because this is an issue in Belgium. It's illegal to do this in Belgium, where you take the bottle out of the van and fill it up on the floor. So the general advice is it's far safer to have a refillable point that's fixed to the van, and that's piped to the bottle, so you leave the bottle in the cupboard. But I realised you haven't got that, and not everybody does. It may be that you can take the bottle out and refill it without any problem at all. In my experience, the reason the garage might say no and stop you doing it is because the VAT rating on cooking gas is different to the VAT rating on gas used for propulsion. So often gas is used to drive the engine. That's a different VAT rating to the gas used for cooking, which is what you're using it for. And that would probably be the reason the garage would stop you doing it. So there's going to be no indication when you drive into the garage as to whether you can do it. You could go in and ask, or just try your luck. See what happens.
Parley with them at the garage.
Yeah.
A lot of French garages, they'll come out and they want to assist you and pump the fuel and stuff like that. So it's quite easy to catch up with somebody. Whether they understand you or not is something else entirely. So thanks, Gary, from Lowestoft, I think. Lowestoft, I think they say it down there, don't they? Or across there. They're the closest to Europe, aren't they? It's the most easterly point in the UK.
Next stop, France.
Yeah. Holland.
Holland, oh yeah.
Yes, the clogs. David Smith's in Weymouth. He says, "Hi Matt, I have a solo trip to make next month with my caravan, and I've been looking at hitch locks that can be used while the vehicle's in motion. That is, ones that do not restrict the operation of the Alco stabiliser. On the Full Stop Security website on the Saracen Gullwing FHL 555, it states, in the UK it is against the law to tow with a hitch lock attached, but the UK page of the Alco website doesn't mention this."
David went on to say, "As you are so well connected, and this is a subject of interest to all caravanners, I wonder if you can clarify this, please. I love the podcast and have listened to them all. I have recently started a mobile caravan and motorhome service business, and the information you have provided has helped me understand the industry and give better advice to my customers. Many thanks."
The invoice is on the way, David. So, Matt, what's your expert advice then?
Well, I was intrigued by this because I thought, I've always recommended travelling with a hitch lock fitted to your hitch, provided it doesn't impede the movement of the hitch. What's the issue? It's going to stop someone nicking the caravan when you pull over for a pee or a cup of coffee in the services. So we went back to Saracen and to Full Stop, and asked them about this Saracen hitch lock because I am not aware that there is any law that says you can't do this. And they came back, Full Stop came back and said, While we cannot find a law which states you cannot have a hitch lock attached, the reason for us advising against using a hitch lock while towing is down to the emergency services.
In the event of an accident, if you have a hitch lock attached to your hitch and they need to detach the caravan, this slows them down massively, as they either need to find the keys or cut the lock off. Due to this, they advise do not use a hitch lock while travelling. So it comes down to the old thing, doesn't it, Matt? Is it pub talk or is it the law?
Yeah.
We have looked at the gov.uk website here at the Motorhome Matt podcast, and we find nothing on that website which says that you can't travel with a hitch lock.
There's not even a mention of a hitch lock on it. So it's not law. I'm afraid that is incorrect. There is no law to be broken. This is all over the internet that it's illegal to use a hitch lock whilst travelling. It's not. Its advice is not to do it so the emergency services could get your caravan off quickly. My advice would be if you want to do it, you can, but put the keys to the hitch lock on the ignition key. So if you're knocked out in an accident, the fire service are going to go for the ignition key and there they will find the key for the hitch lock. I would say that would be the most obvious place to put it, and they will be able to find it quickly, and if they need to detach the caravan in a hurry, they can.
There you go. Well, thanks very much, David in Weymouth. If somebody wants to ask a question, what should they do, Matt?
Please do. Yeah, we'd love it if you did, because I have no doubt if you've got that question, so have thousands of others. Go to mhmp.info/ask Matt. You can record the question by clicking the orange button. Tell us where you are in the country or in the world, and you can submit the question there on a form as well if you'd rather not record your own voice.
And we'd love it if you left a review, wouldn't we?
We would. mhmp.info/review.
And subscribe on YouTube.
Please do. Loads of our viewers on YouTube are not subscribed, so please do, because it really helps populate the podcast. And our YouTube channel is sponsored by arabasecreative.co.uk.